Yo, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? So, turns out basically everyone is out. That's what it turns out. Everyone's hurt. Everyone's hurt. What a fun season. AJ Brown out. Evan Ingram out. No bueno. No bueno aquí, as they say in Espanol. No bueno. Keenan Allen is fucked up as well. Keenan Allen is currently dealing with the heel injury, game time decision. Nothing is going right, guys. The season has just begun 7 seconds ago, and everything is already wrong. What a fun season so far. I'm out. Yeah, I am out. It's tough out here, guys. Burrow or Daniels? I'd play Daniels. Pickens or Robinson? I'd play Robinson. Derrick Henry or Zach Charbonnet or Nico Collins? I'm playing Henry. I don't want to sit any of those guys, though. Malik Neighbors or Brian Robinson Jr.? Yeah, they're getting that breakfast, baby. Eating that breakfast. Let's get fuck, man. Let's go Brian Robinson. Would CMC for H-Han be a solid trade? If you're getting H-Han, I'd just take that. Tired of McCaffrey, dude. Happy Sunday, Nikki. What's up? How we doing, Caitlin? Do I play JMO or Brandon Cooks over Keenan Allen? I'd play JMO. Kirk or Reed? I would play Kirk. Or I'd play Reed. What's up, Roxford? How we doing? Question: who do I flex today? Tank Dell, Austin Eckler, Terry McLaurin. I would play McLaurin. Godwin or Ford in the flex, 0.25 PPR. I would play Godwin. Moss or Charbonnet. I would play Charbonnet. Taysom Hill or Schoonmaker. I'd play Hill. Josh Palmer or Johnson. Johnson. What's up, Legendary One? What's up, Unknown? Dobbins or Ford. Dobbins. What would you give up for McCaffrey with him on IR now? Right now, I mean, it just seems like you're basically just hopping on a bus that is going to, you know how like in SpongeBob when they go on that bus and it goes to that like weird underneath place. What is that place called? You know what I'm talking about? Where they go down. That's basically where you're going if you add Christian McCaffrey to your team, because right now I have 0. And when I say 0, I have 0 confidence in what we're going to get out of Christian McCaffrey when he comes back. I think there's a chance that when Christian McCaffrey comes back, they're still using Mason heavier. Now, again, McCaffrey's going to be the guy when he comes back, but this is so bad, guys. He might miss 6 fucking weeks. 6 weeks, they're saying. I don't want anything to do with Christian McCaffrey as of right now. I simply just cannot do it. I simply cannot do it. Simply cannot do it. I don't think you guys should be doing it either. Just try to stay away from McCaffrey. If you wanted to get McCaffrey, you won't even have to send that high of a piece to get him. Roderick, thank you for the super chat. Charbonnet or Cooper at the flex. Pick up Dotson and start over Dortch. Look, I guess you could play Dotson because the matchup is good. I don't really love either of those options. The first question, Charbonnet or Cooper, I would play Charbonnet. I think the Patriots defense is good, 100%. But I do think the Seattle Seahawks rushing scheme under McDonald has been pretty solid. They're going to obviously have to commit to Charbonnet because Kenneth Walker isn't there. So you're going to get a shit ton of touches out of Charbonnet. So I would go Charbonnet. And then Dotson over Dortch. I would be fine doing that. I would be fine playing Dotson over Dortch. Let me see here. How does this work? 1 second. Team, opponent, tier. Okay. Yeah, I would 100% play Charbonnet. And then Dotson or Dortch is pretty 50-50. I would probably just play Dortch because I just have a little bit more confidence in Greg Dortch. But if you wanted to play Jahan Dotson, go ahead. But I'm playing Dortch. So Dortch and Zach Charbonnet. The reason why I would play Dortch. Oh, what the fuck did I just do? The reason why I would play Dortch over over Jahan Dotson is just because I trust Dortch a little bit more. I don't really trust Dotson. Plus, Dotson just got there 5 seconds ago, so you're really, really, really hoping that because AJ Brown is out, the offense magically goes further his way, which I just don't really think it will. So Charbonnet and Dortch. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Legendary One. Make sure you put your question in the chat in case I missed it. Trying to find it right now. Fresh Crimps, thank you for the super chat. Tank Dell, Charbonnet, or Zach Moss. Again, I'm going to go Charbonnet. I think Charbonnet is a great play today. Wait, are these even the updated rankings? Am I just fucking doing nothing? Wait, let me see. File upload. Yeah, I was just fucking around for no reason. File upload. All right. So what I would be doing there is playing Charbonnet. I like Charbonnet the best. Again, I believe pretty heavily in Zach Charbonnet's skill set, and I believe pretty heavily in the offense. Tank Dell's fine too. But the problem with Tank Dell is that you're basically just preying on the downfall of Diggs or Nico Collins in a game that might end up being a lot more low scoring than we would probably want. Not the most positive game environment. So I'm going to go ahead and play. I'm going to go ahead and play Zach Charbonnet there. That's a close one, though, between Charbonnet and Dell. I think Dell probably has more upside. Like if Dell could easily have a higher scoring game, but I'm just going to go with the guy I feel a little bit more confident in, who also has pretty big upside. So that's the way we're going with that one. We're going to go with Zach Charbonnet. Zach Cabernet, as they call him. Next question here. Julio. Oh my God, I'm so fucking stupid, guys. Thank you for the super chat. Julio Lane. If I pronounce your name wrong, I apologize. McConkey, Deontay, Bowers, Cooks, or Robinson? You need one. Good question. It's almost crazy that I kind of think the answer is Bowers. But while I think it's Bowers, you should probably go DeMarcus Robinson. I think DeMarcus Robinson is in for not the best game on earth, obviously. But I think DeMarcus Robinson should be able to get enough volume in this LA Rams offense in a matchup that I project to be relatively high scoring. So I would go ahead and play DeMarcus Robinson there. It is close between Robinson and Bowers. Bowers did get a lot of the easy stuff last week, which we were really rooting for him to get all of the simple targets, simple jack, getting all the easy stuff so that, you wouldn't need to rely on like his 4 targets. And if he doesn't end up doing well with those 4 targets, you just end up fisted. That did not end up happening. So that was very good. So I would definitely go ahead. I'm just messing everything up right now. The opponent, not the tier. I would definitely go ahead and play DeMarcus Robinson. 100%. I love DeMarcus Robinson this week. I love the matchup. I feel very confident in DeMarcus Robinson. Did anyone watch the fights last night? What a brutal loss for my boy Sugar Sean. What's up, baby? What's going on, Daniel? AJ Brown likely out. Need your help. Need 2 wide receivers and a flex. 2 wide receivers and a flex. Moore, Flowers, Najee, Worthy, Singletary, Sutton. Side note, prayers to Tua. Thank you. Prayers to Tua as well. That was so brutal, guys. That might have been one of the saddest injuries I've ever seen. That was like he barely even hit him. That was the craziest part about it. And the craziest part about it actually was that it was Hamlin that did it. I'm not blaming Hamlin. I'm just saying in terms of anyone that could have been involved in something like that, it was the 2 guys that you would expect for something like that to happen to. Which is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, anyone that has the Patreon, the rankings have been updated. The rankings have been updated. I had to move a bunch of guys around. So the answer to your question is I can't dilly-dally. We need to start answering these fucking questions here. Thank you guys for the super chats. I appreciate you. Need 2 wide receivers and a flex. I would play Flowers, Worthy, and DJ Moore. I don't think you can sit DJ Moore, even if I kind of want to, I would 100% play DJ Moore, Flowers, and Worthy. I think that's pretty cut and dry there. Worthy for the super big upside. DJ Moore for a little bit more risky, but big upside. And I think Flowers is probably the safest one there. So Flowers, Moore, and Worthy. I'm hoping Worthy has a huge game. Half PPR, Likely or Ingram. Ingram's out, so you got to go Likely. Starting Lamar and Henry. Yeah, you have to go Likely, even though you're going to be so heavily invested in that one offense. I think you just have to go that way. Yeah, that way. So you got to go Likely. Isaiah Likely. Thank you for the super chat. Sucks that Ingram isn't going to play again. It's like we get it's week 2. We're 2 seconds into the fucking season, and it's already cooked. It's already cooked for Mr. Ingram. Jaden or Kyler. Also pick 2. Adams, Neighbors, DJ Moore. Now, in my opinion, Kyler versus Jaden Daniels is something I have gone back and forth with in my rankings all week. All week, like I move them up, I move them down. They're ranked back to back in my rankings. I have Kyler over Jaden Daniels. On paper, this is such an easy game for Jaden Daniels, which kind of tells me that Jaden Daniels might end up shitting the bed. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so what I would do is I would play Kyler Murray 100% just because I think Kyler is just a little bit safer. I know Kyler didn't have the biggest game up against Arizona, but I think Kyler bounces back. And again, something about this game being so easy against the Giants, to me, tells me that something is going to go fucking awfully wrong in that game. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. I think Jaden Daniels still have a big game, but I'm going Kyler and then a Dunze. Motherfucker's throwing out money like a stripper. I am a stripper out here, bro. Someone said that in the chat. Adams, Neighbors, DJ Moore. I'm playing Neighbors and I'm playing Neighbors and Adams probably. That's a tough question though. Let me look at the rankings real quick. Neighbors, Adams, DJ Moore. I got Neighbors at 12, Moore at 20, and Devontae Adams at 18. So it's Devontae Adams and Neighbors, but they're close. Joey Ford, thank you for the super chat. You saved my season 2 years ago. Yoshi or Judy? Full PPR leaning towards Yoshi because no Higgins. Also have Mooney. Thanks, man. No problem. I would not play Mooney strictly just because of the quarterback play by Kirk Cousins. I think Kirk Cousins will figure it out, but I don't think we need to just go all hog wild and we watch Kirk Cousins shit the bed. So now he's definitely going to bounce back in a primetime game where he is notoriously bad in primetime games. In case you guys didn't know, he sucks in primetime. So I would definitely go ahead and play Yoshi Voss. I think Yoshi should be in for a solid game. Like you said, matchup is rough, but we should be seeing Jamar Chase take up a majority of the main coverage. So I think Yoshi should have the big game. There's no way I'm playing Jerry Jeudy, by the way, in a Deshaun Watson offense. So it is 100% Yoshi Voss. Thank you for the super chat, Joey Ford. And then who super chatted before? I don't want to miss it. Legendary one. Make sure you leave your question in the chat. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm also like a couple minutes back. Couple minutes behind. Marvin Harrison Jr., Olave, Flowers, and Tank. Oh, man. I would be playing Marvin Harrison Jr. because I'm not ready to quit a guy after one down game. And then you kind of get into the scenario where it's a little bit dicey. I would go Marvin Harrison Jr. and Flowers. I think Olave can bounce back, but I just don't trust Derek Carr right now. So Marvin Harrison Jr. and Flowers feels like your best bet there. Even though I do like Tank Dell. Roxford, Mixon, Stevenson, Montgomery, ETN. You have a fearsome foursome there. I would go Mixon, Stevenson, and ETN. Montgomery's the odd man out, not because I think Montgomery's a bad play, but because Montgomery has the least amount of upside. For Montgomery to absolutely smash, you need him to either score 2 touchdowns or Gibbs to get hurt. Knock on wood, we don't root for injuries. Whereas Stevenson could easily smash on his own. Mixon and ETN all can smash on their own. I like Montgomery, but I'm going Mixon, Stevenson, and ETN. Next question here from Kiop says Kirk, Ridley, Madison, Hopkins, or Justice Hill. That's a tough question. I would personally go with Christian Kirk. I don't love the matchup for Christian Kirk, but I feel as though Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to bounce back. Maybe not in the biggest way possible. Like, I don't think this is going to be the biggest game ever out of Christian Kirk and friends, but I would start Christian Kirk. I'd feel the most comfortable with Kirk. Ridley has a very tough matchup. I don't really want to play Hopkins either, so I would just go with Christian Kirk. Ryan, thank you for the super chat. Yo, Nick, need help. Connor, Mason, Charbonnet at running back, Evans, Cup, Worthy at wide receiver, Brian Thomas, Robinson. Oh my gosh, you have so many good players. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex. Mason, easy. Lock him in. We're going Mason, Connor at running back. Mason and Connor. At receiver, we're going Evans and Cup. So it's Mason, Charbonnet, Evans, Cup. Then we're going to go Worthy and Nico Collins. So you're getting Collins, Evans, Cup, Worthy, Connor, Charbonnet. That's the answer there. Love the wide receivers. Super safe with Evans, Cup, and Collins. Worthy more the upside play. And then Charbonnet versus Connor is kind of a toss-up, but I would just go with the safety of Connor. We know how good Connor is. So Connor, Mason, Collins, Evans, Cup, Worthy is your answer there. Thank you very much for the super chat. 07 Salute says full PPR, JSN Lazard, Yoshivas, Andrews versus Parkinson. I'm going to be honest with you. There's no way you are going to bench Andrews. Like, I think if you bench Mark Andrews, you're just 100% overthinking every single thing possible in your head if you're not going to play the guy that you drafted in the 4th round. In my opinion, compared to Kobe Parkinson. Now, again, that's not me trying to shit on Kobe Parkinson, but Kobe Parkinson is just not very good compared to a guy like Mark Andrews, where Mark Andrews is one of the best tight ends, if not, I guess not the best tight end, but you get what I mean, right? One of the best tight ends in the NFL. I'm playing Andrews, and then I would play Lazard and Andrews. Also need a flex, Worthy, Swift, or Ridley. 100% has to be Worthy. I think Worthy is going to go out there and absolutely fucking smash. Now that Hollywood Brown is out for a serious amount of time, I think Xavier Worthy is in for a smash spot going forward. Hopefully the targets come his way because he had a huge game last week with little targets. This week, if he gets more targets, I'm thinking this is going to end up being one of the biggest games for him. So definitely Worthy for sure. Definitely Worthy. You think Jordan Mason going over 75 rushing yards? Yes, I would kind of be shocked if he didn't, if I'm being honest with you. I think Jerome Mason's going to go absolutely crazy until Christian McCaffrey returns. Now, last week might have been blowing some smoke up his ass because, frankly, I don't expect him to look that good every single week, and I don't think any of you guys should expect him to be Christian McCaffrey 2.0, but you should expect at least a decent enough game, which is what we got out of him. So I definitely like him in a bounce back, or not a bounce back spot, but I just like him to do the exact same thing he did last week and rush for over 75 yards. I also think he's pretty close to a lock for a touchdown, but that's like plus or like minus 155 or something. My favorite bet for today is J.K. Dobbins anytime touchdown. So yes, I think Jordan Mason's going over 75 yards. Bro, sorry about Tua. Start one now. It's okay. Notorious Soldier. Thank you very much. Reed, Worthy, or Thomas Jr. Just play Worthy. I think out of that group, Brian Thomas Jr. is probably the safest, but there is just no way, Jose, that I'm going to sit Worthy after what we saw last week. If Reed had a competent quarterback, the answer would be Reed by a mile. But with the quarterback play in Green Bay being subpar, I'm going Worthy. Next question from Buffeed says, non-PPR, pick one, Pittman, Marv, Flowers, or Ladd. Pittman is definitely more of a full PPR kind of guy because he's going to get all of his work done with the receptions. You're hoping that that's a guy that can get 6, 7, 8 catches in any given game. So that's technically not really the kind of format you want Pittman in because you need the touchdowns. I'm not sure if Pittman will score that touchdown. I'm going to go with Zay Flowers in standard. Pick 2, and Zay Flowers should have had a touchdown last week. If Lamar Jackson wasn't legally blind, he would have had a touchdown. So not going to worry too much about that. Not worried, big fella. I'm going with Flowers. Olave, London, Montgomery, play 2. It's going to be London and Montgomery. Olave and London are basically in the exact same spot. 2 amazing talents in situations that are absolutely dog shit for them. 2 amazing talents in situations that are absolutely dog shit for them. I'm telling you, it's basically deja vu. They're both in the same division. I just trust Kirk Cousins a little more than I trust Derek Carr. And I'm going to go Montgomery because Montgomery is just super, super safe. So Montgomery and London. Derek, thank you for the super chat. Derek Willett says, full PPR, DK or Devontae Smith. Pat's defense look good and AJ is out. Love the channel. By far the most entertaining fantasy football channel out there. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. Ooh, okay. Yeah. AJ Brown being out makes that question basically a no-brainer that you should be playing Devontae Smith. I think DK Metcalf's a very talented player. I think DK Metcalf is actually one of the most talented wide receivers in the NFL. Based upon his build, his speed is insane. His ability to catch the ball is crazy. His great catch radius. He seems to be able to moss guys. Problem, though, not the best matchup. And Geno Smith, to me, did not look great last season. So I'm just going to stick with the guy that I trust, and that would be Devontae Smith. With no A.J. Brown, just feels way, 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 way safer. So go with Devontae Smith. Legendary one, thank you for the question and the super chat. Start 1, Hopkins, Kirk, Cooks, or Shaheed. Personally, I would play Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks. No, I'm not Brandon Cooks. I would play Christian Kirk. Again, I don't love the matchup for Christian Kirk, but I don't think this early on in the season we should be hitting the panic button on a guy like Christian Kirk. The Dolphins defense looked pretty good in that first game, and then obviously the Dolphins got their shit kicked in by the Bills. We all saw that. But I do think that Christian Kirk is going to have better days ahead. I don't know if this is the spot where he smashes. I mean, if you want the safest bet, I think Brandon Cooks is the safest, but I would go with Christian Kirk personally. Madison or Shaheed? Oh my gosh. So the thing with Madison is I think Madison might have taken over from Zamir White. But the reason why I say might is because I wouldn't bet my life on it. Right? I would not bet that, hey, coming out the gate today, we're 100% going to see that be the case because I just don't think that's going to be the case, right? I don't think guarantee mortal lock of the century that Madison is the lead back on the team. I think it's more likely going to be Zamir White. So I would personally play Shaheed just strictly based off the upside that Shaheed possesses. Alexander Madison. Oh, no. Alexander. Thank you for the super chat. I don't know why the fuck I just read Alexander Madison again. Maybe that's because I'm stupid, but thank you for the super chat. Henry for ETN. I would rather have Derrick Henry. I think that's basically a toss-up, though. Like, the way that I look at things is my prior thoughts entering into the season was I would rather have Henry over ETN. Now, it was very close. It wasn't by a huge margin, but entering into the season, that's what I thought. Now, one down game in very negative game script against the Chiefs has a lot of people very nervous. And the reason why I bring up the negative game script is because that's a game that went way out of the way of what the Ravens want to do. Instead of running the ball the way they want to, they were stuck passing, a lot of Justice Hill. I think it's basically a coin flip. If you want ETN, go ahead and make the trade. But personally, I'm keeping Henry. But that's like basically 50-50. 07, Zamir, Justice Hill, Spears, Chase, Brown. I would play Zamir White because, again, while I do think it's possible that Madison is the starter, I think out of all of those guys, the most likely guy to come out this week as the starting running back on his team is clearly going to be Zamir White. I think Zamir White, out of that group, has the most likely opportunity to come out there as the starter. We know how important just getting touches is in fantasy football. You could be the best running back ever, but if you're not getting touches, you're not going to do diddly squat for fantasy. So I'm going to go ahead and play Zamir because I just think Zamir has the best bet at getting touches this week. Amy, thank you for the super chat. DK, Gus Edwards, or Singletary. I don't want to play Gus Edwards right now. I do think J.K. Dobbins is the guy. I think that Gus Edwards could easily fall into the end zone. So I wouldn't write him off and cut him off of my team. But as of right now, he is not on the top of my mind as like a guy that I need to start. I would probably play DK Metcalf. I don't love the matchup for DK, but he's by far the best player on that list. And Singletary, like that game could go backwards up against the Commanders. So I'm going DK Metcalf. Thank you for the super chat. Anonymous, thank you for the super chat. Pick one with AJ out. Javonte, Dobbs, Mooney, Polk. Now, the report today was that Polk is going to be seeing more touches in this offense, which is very promising towards my talk in the offseason that Jalen Polk is going to be the wide receiver one. But we haven't seen it yet. So, again, I'm not going to do a victory lap off of that. Out of those guys, I'm not playing Dobbs with fucking Malik Willis under center. I don't want to play Mooney because of Kirk. I don't want to play Polk because we haven't seen it yet. So I'm just going to go with Javonte, hoping he leads the team in touches in that backfield in an okay matchup. Start two, full PPR. Smith, Rice, Mason, Dobbins. That's basically one of these questions where you are going to be kept up late night if you get this wrong, because these are four players that you want in your lineup. There is no way I'm taking Rashee Rice out of my lineup, so I'm locking him in. And then I would play Mason. Mason and Dobbins, there's not a huge differentiator there. The biggest differentiator is just that the 49ers offense is a straight up wagon. And it wouldn't actually surprise me. While on paper, we all probably think the Chargers are going to steamroll the Panthers. Based on like trends on betting, it would probably tell you that the Panthers will at least cover that game and it will be closer than we think. And I do have Dobbins anytime touchdown. That's my best bet of the day. If that doesn't hit after what Sean O'Malley did to me last night, we're going to be broke, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and play Mason Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. We're going to play Jordan, the numbers Mason. What do they mean? And Rashee Rice. I just love Mason's upside, super safe as well. Chill, Ryder, West Sider, 23. Start one of each. Pickens or Neighbors, Ramondre or Rashad White. Rashad White is in a great matchup this week to potentially have one of those games that is crazy because of how many dump offs he could potentially see. And you match that with the fact that this could be a very high scoring game where both teams are putting up a ton of points. So I'm definitely going to go ahead and play Rashad White over Ramondre, even though I think Ramondre is a good play. And then I'm playing Neighbors over Pickens strictly just because I think Neighbors has a better matchup. Pickens might be safer, but there's really no safety when it comes to a guy like fucking Justin Fields throwing you the ball. So I'd go Neighbors and Rashad White. Wesley, thank you for the super chat. I'm trying to catch up on the super chats. I apologize. I will answer regular questions as well. Make sure you guys leave a like on the stream. It helps me out a ton. Baker, Mason, Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, Flex James Conner, the Chargers bench. Your bench is Caleb Williams, Aaron Jones, Keenan Allen, Michael Pittman, Zay Flowers, Ravens. By the way, I hate Christian McCaffrey and playing for two. Thank you. I don't hate Christian McCaffrey. I more hate the way that things were reported about this situation. How it wasn't made abundantly clear to all of us that this was going to happen. Like, how was it not made more obvious that Christian McCaffrey was not going to miss more time is crazy. Every single report that you could have found about this said that Christian McCaffrey basically would be good to go for week number one. So don't blame yourself if you drafted McCaffrey. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some. I like your lineup a lot. I wouldn't change anything. I would consider playing Zay Flowers over DJ Moore and Michael Pittman over DJ Moore. Yeah, you have to play Michael Pittman over DJ Moore. I have DJ Moore ranked 20th. I have Michael Pittman ranked 9th. I understand that Pittman didn't end up hitting last week, even though the matchup was pretty solid. That was a high-scoring game. The other receivers caught the big ball touchdowns, but I think that this week it will end up being Pittman playing a lot better, so I'm picking Pittman over DJ Moore. The rest of your lineup, though, does look correct. So I'm playing Pittman over Moore. And if you want to play Moore, right, if you're centered on, hey, I want to play Moore, just bench James Conner. Just bench James Conner. Xavier Worthy versus Jerome Ford, half PPR. If you want safety, play Ford. Ford is going to get a bunch of dump offs in this game. Ford was very involved last week in terms of dump offs. The offense of the Cleveland Browns is a huge concern for me, but the matchup up against the Jaguars is relatively positive. I get that the Jaguars defense stifled the Dolphins run game last week. I think that's just because the Dolphins offensive line absolutely sucks ass. And I think that's less to do with with uh with like that them having like this elite defense against the run. Luke Farrell. So yeah, I would play I'm playing Xavier Worthy before to safer. I'm playing Worthy. Alexander, thank you for the super chat. Would you trade Henry for ETN? I think I answered this already. But yeah, I would probably prefer to keep Henry because of my prior to the season. I thought that you should draft Henry over ETN. So after 1 week, I'm not going to panic. If you want ETN, ETN probably feels like the safer bet weekly, just strictly due to the fact that in week week number 1, the game script really bit Derrick Henry in the ass, but I just don't think the Ravens are going to be in a lot of game scripts where they're playing from behind like that, where they have to involve Justice Hill super heavily. So I would go ahead and just keep Derrick Henry. Keaton says Pitt or Jets defense, Pickens or Ramondre in the flex full PPR Hart. Thank you very much for the super chat. For me, it's going to be the Jets defense up against the Titans. Will Levis looked like absolute dog shit. I know the Jets defense just got pounded in by the 49ers, but the way I look at things is the 49ers are on cloud 9, whereas the Titans are like below earth. So I'm going with the Jets, and then Pickens or Ramondre. I'm playing Ramondre because I like Ramondre's matchup better. So I would go Ramondre, and I would go with the New York Jumbo Jets. Ramondre and the Jets. Next question from Tyler. Thank you for the super chat. Pick 2 to start. Dave Montgomery, Josh Jacobs, James Conner, Robinson from Washington, or Najee Harris. This is a tough question. James Conner is going to be the answer for sure for one of them, just because death taxes James Conner just being very, very safe every single week. The matchup isn't A1 against the Rams. Like, this isn't going to be the softest matchup he's ever seen, but it is a good matchup, right? No one's going to sit here and tell you that that's a really bad matchup. So I'm going to go ahead and play. I'm going to play James Conner. And then the other part of this question is a little bit tougher. The other guy that you want to start, I would like to start Jacobs, but I worry that the game script could go so negatively away from him. I think Brian Robinson is probably the safer bet. So that's the way we're going to go. We're going to go Brian Robinson in a wet dream matchup against the Giants. And then we're going to go with James Conner for that safety up against the LA Rams. So we're going to go Robinson and Conner. Greg, thank you for the super chat. I don't know why my nose is so itchy. I guess I was doing too much cocaine last night. Wink, wink. That's definitely what I do. 2 flex spots, Kirk, Jameson Williams, Moss, or Zeke. Oh, man. I would play Jameson Williams for sure. And then I'm hoping that the Bengals bounce back. And I'm going to go. I'm hoping the Bengals bounce back, and I'm going Moss. That's tough between Moss and Kirk. I don't really want to play Zeke, even though I guess Zeke's probably the safer bet. I'm going Moss and Jameson Williams. Reinhardt, the fifth, says DJ Moore, Dell, Mason, ETN, Connor, PPR, Hart. Thank you very much for the super chat. Mason for sure. This is kind of, I mean, it is tough because I guess you want to get DJ Moore into your lineup. Probably why you asked the question. Because probably asked this question because you're not 100% sure on if you want DJ Moore in there or not. So I definitely go Mason and ETN. You got to lock those guys in. And then it's kind of a coin flip between Connor and Moore. I just think Connor's a lot safer. Caleb Williams looks like dog shit. I think Caleb Williams will bounce back, but it's not like this. And I don't know why I just breathed like that. It's not like this is the easiest matchup ever. up against the Texans. So I'm going ETN, Connor, and Mason, the triple running backs at the end there. The triple running backs. Triple backs. Next question here from '07. Hurts or Daniels? I'm going to play Hurts. This is one of the biggest problems, and it's something I talked about in the summer, was that if you draft Hurts and then you come back later and draft a guy like Jaden Daniels, who has huge upside every single week, you are going to be in a pickle every single week, beating yourself up about, oh, so AJ Brown's out. Does that lead to me wanting to play this guy slightly more? Should I want to play Daniels? Do I want to play Hurts? And they're going to end up just picking wrong every single week. And that's going to be the reason why you lose. And it's super frustrating. But I get why you did it. Obviously, Jaden Daniels has some supreme upside. If something was to happen to Hurts, you would be in the driver's seat, still having a great quarterback, unlike my team, who has Jordan Love, and now I'm starting Malik Willis. No bueno. I'm going to go ahead and go with Hurts. I'm going to stick with my priors. I think that matchup should be very positive for Hurts. I just would not. I'm not going to be able to sleep at night if I sit Hurts down. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Jalen Hurts personally. Jalen Hurts over Jaden Stormy Daniels. Nani says Mason, Moore, Monty, JMO, London, Ford, pick 3, full PPR. Mason, lock him in. This is Mason, Moore. Even though Moore is a little bit more risky, like we talked about, I'm definitely going Moore. Mason's a lock. DJ Moore feels like a lock due to the guys that you've got. And then I would go with Ford due to the receiving upside out of the backfield. So Mason, Moore, and Ford. Jameis, I don't really want to play London over those guys. I like Montgomery. He feels pretty safe, but I'm going to go Ford. I think Ford could pop off for 20-plus points. I'm going Mason, Moore, and Ford. Mason, Moore, and Ford. Sorry, guys. If you have regular questions, I'm going to try to answer the regular questions as well. Mason, Moore, and Ford is the answers. Kyle, thank you for the super chat, my man. I appreciate you. Ford or ETN full PPR. Love you long time. I love you long time. Fins up, baby. Go Dolphins. Ford or ETN playing against each other. I'm going ETN. I know last week we saw the Tank Bigsby show, and that's going to make everyone and their mother panic, right? Oh, ETN was getting his touches stolen from him from Tank Bigsby. Let's fucking have a full-on panic attack. I'm not panicking too much about that. I like Ford. I've liked Ford all summer long. But when it comes to Ford, again, we did just tell someone else to start him, but he is at the Lamborghini mercy of the offense that involves Deshaun Watson throwing the ball. And Deshaun Watson literally looked so bad. I don't even know how it's possible to look that bad when you get paid that much money, but he does it. He's a professional fucking bum, so fuck that guy. I would definitely rather feel the safety that is ETN, even though I think Ford should be kind of safe. It's just like ETN's way safer because, he doesn't have Deshaun Watson potentially ruining everything. So I would go with ETN. Andrew Rea, thank you for the super chat, my man. Make sure you leave your question in chat so I can answer it. Andrew Rea. Make sure you put that question in the chat so I can answer it, because I'm not going to be able to find it if I have to scroll back. Sadly, there's too many of you guys here. We buy homes near you. Thank you for the super chat. Dobbins, ETN, London, or Monty standard. So what we're going to do is we're going to take London and throw him directly into the fucking trash. We're not even going to consider London as a part of the equation. London is out of the equation. It's Dobbins, or it's ETN, or it's Monty. My opinion on this would be just to play Dobbins. I like Dobbins' upside. Dobbins, you're not really relying too heavily on the receptions, which obviously is something that matters a lot more in full PPR. So I'm thinking ETN's a good play too, but I'd probably just go J.K. Dobbins. Again, the matchup is so good for J.K. Dobbins that it makes it basically impossible to bench him. So I'm going J.K. Dobbins. I love the matchup this week up against the Panthers. I don't think the Panthers will have a singular answer for J.K. Dobbins, and I expect J.K. Dobbins to absolutely explode. Absolutely explode. Andrew, make sure you leave your question in chat, by the way. I don't see another question from you, so make sure you put it in the chat. Just subscribed. Thank you. I'm debating between JSN, Lockett, or Worthy. I'd play Worthy. Cook, Neighbors, or Singletary. I'd play Neighbors. Flex spot, JMO, Amari Cooper, Christian Kirk, Charbonnet. I would play Charbonnet. Nico, Rice, Garrett, and Rice. Rashad White or Jaden Reed. I would play Rashad White. Can you pick 2 for the flex? Ridley, Likely, Moss, Jacoby Myers. Thanks, man. No problem. I would play Likely and Ridley. Chat, are we starting Eckler or Jaleel this week? I'd play Eckler. Jose, half PPR, Marvin Harrison Jr., Moore, or Kamara. I'm playing Moore and Kamara. Brian Thomas, Kirk, Singletary, Ingram out. I would personally play Brian Thomas Jr. Mixon, Connor, Pittman. Thank you for your question, Andrew. Mixon, Connor, Andrew. Can't fucking read chat. Mixon, Connor, Pittman, and Mason. Who's my flex? Oh my God. What a question that is. And I say what a question because those are in most of your guys' leagues. Mixon, Connor, Pittman, and Mason should be in your lineup. Really, there's kind of no debate on those guys. Those are all guys you want in your lineup. It has to be Mason. I'm not going to let week 1, like, I don't have some week 1 goggles on, like, oh, Mason scored X amount of points in week 1. He's got to do it again. But what I'm going to tell you is that Mason is in a smash spot again. I think Mason's going to have a huge game. I don't expect him again to look as good as he looked last week because the way he was running, it was like there was no one even around him. Like they didn't even try to stop him. It was like really astonishing to watch where like the defense just isn't ready at all for what he had to offer. He ran a train on the Jets, but I'm going Mason. 100%, Andrew. That's a tough question though. And you only need 1, right? You only need 1. It's full PPR. I'm going Mason. Mason also has some solid receiving upside. That's fucking close though. Between all Mason, Mixon, and Pittman are very close, but I'd go Mason. Brian, thank you for the super chat. Reed or Shaheed over London? Oh God. I think in that scenario, I'm just gonna play London and just hope that I am wrong. Or actually hope that I'm right because I love Drake London in the offseason and just hope Kirk Cousins figures it out a little bit more. Kirk Cousins didn't look good. Kirk Cousins was planting wrong. He was throwing it wrong. Everything that he could have done right was wrong. Everything that you know out of Kirk Cousins was not what we saw out of Kirk Cousins. It was like they put my brain in Kirk Cousins, basically. They were like, oh, Nick, you plant your feet this way. You throw the ball off your back foot. You do this. Like, shit I would do if you just threw me into his body and had me try to play quarterback. Like, the stuff I do in Madden. So, I'm gun to the head. I'm playing London. But if you want to play someone over him, play Reed. Reed's quarterback situation is trash, but I think they're going to try to get him a lot of easy stuff, like a lot of screens, a lot of end arounds, a lot of slants that he could take to the crib because he's so fast. I'd play Reed. If you have to play one over London, I'd play Reed. But personally, I'm going to play London and just hope I don't go down with the ship. 07. Salute. London or McConkey? Again, this is another question where it's like London is, I would say, 7 gazillion times more risky than McConkey. McConkey is incredibly safe. Seattle is expected to take extreme caution with Kenneth Walker's injury. Expect a heavy dose of Josh Jacobs in week 2. There's also a report. So I'm going to go ahead and play, like, if it's my team, I'm playing London because I drafted London high and I'm not going to panic after 1 week. But if you want safety, which it seems like you do, McConkey is 8 gazillion times safer than Drake London. So I think that's fine if you want to do that. RS, thank you for the super chat. Make sure you put your question in chat. Godwin or Reed, I'd play Godwin. Bench Dave Montgomery for Zach Charbonnet, I would play Charbonnet. Worthy, Ridley, or McConkey? Worthy. Spam 1 if you like buffalo chicken dip, dude. Buffalo chicken dip is so good. Oh, I meant out of the 4, who are you sitting? I would sit Connor, Andrew Ray. Sorry about that. I fucking read your question wrong. I would sit James Conner. It's definitely either Pittman or Connor, but I would sit Connor personally. Unless you're looking for the safest lineup possible. If you're looking for the safest lineup possible, sit Pittman. That's the way I think about it. Godwin or Reed? I would play Godwin. Cooks or BTJ? BTJ. Since AJ Brown is out, who would you play? I would play Scary Terry. Got Gibbs in the flex. Leave him in or start Mason or Likely or Deontay Johnson or Dobbins. I would play Gibbs over Mason. Yeah, so that's correct. That question is tough for Tyron, but I'd go Terry. Niner 86. Thank you for the super chat. Flex 1, Gibbs, Mason, Rice, Ford. Oh my god. And again, I don't say that. I really appreciate the super chat, but this is another one where you're gonna be stuck up at night. I actually, by the way, whoever I answered that question for before, I actually have Mason ranked ahead of Gibbs, which feels so risky. So I'm gonna play Mason. I'm gonna go by my rankings. I'm playing Jordan Mason. Again, this is another question where you are going to be up for the next quarter century thinking about this question. It's going to keep you up at night because realistically, all 4 of those guys should be in your lineup. All 4 of those guys are no-brainer plays based on what we saw last week, based upon just what I think is the smart move. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and play. I'm playing Mason. That's so tough though. So tough. I'm playing Mason. It's so close between Gibbs and Mason. I mean, you also want to be playing Rice. So it's like you're really in a pickle there. But yeah. I'm definitely gonna play Mason. The numbers, Mason, what do they mean? Keenan Allen is listed as doubtful now, guys. So if you have Keenan Allen, you probably want to you probably don't want to play Keenan Allen. That's what I'll say. You probably don't want to play Keenan Allen. Oh, RS, you didn't have to super chat again. You could have just. You can't. Dab God, I feel you on that. If you don't want to sit Gibbs, you don't have to. That's a tough question. RS, thank you for the super chat. Tank Bigsby or Justice Hill, Mostert out, and ETN is your running back. One go all in on Jax. The idea of going all in on the Jacksonville Jaguars is just on paper fucking downright disgusting. Downright disgusting. So gross. But once I guess. Just give me one second. I think gun to the head, my answer would be Tank Bigsby. Right? If I had to pick one in a vacuum, it's Tank Bigsby because I just think Tank Bigsby is the safer play. I think we're going to see the Ravens leading, so we're not going to need a lot of Justice Hill. But can I stomach playing 2 guys on the Jacksonville fucking Jaguars? I guess I'm going to have to. The answer is Tank Bigsby, even though I kind of did some galaxy braining thinking, oh, I don't want to play Tank Bigsby and ETN, but I'm going to play Tank Bigsby and ETN and hope the Jacksonville Jaguars run an absolute train on the Browns. That is a very, very tough question. I'm leaning Tank Bigsby. One for running back 2, ETN or Montgomery. ETN or Montgomery standard. I'm playing ETN again. I'm just sticking with my priors, which is that ETN's a better running back than Montgomery. ETN's the starter on his team. Montgomery is not the starter on his team. So the answer is ETN. Montgomery's probably a little bit safer, but I'm going ETN. I'm going with ETN. Trying to look at all my starting fantasy lineups to make sure I have everything set correctly. I shine. What's going on, man? 8-man super flex. I need a pick between Kamara, Dallas, or J.K. Dobbins, Panthers. Oh my fucking god. Sorry for cursing, chat. If you're new to the channel, I will curse every once in a while. Oh, AJ Brown is out, so I need to take him out of. Oh god. Oh lord, I gotta take him out of our subscriber league. Oh, that was so gross. That was disgusting. What I just had to do right there. But it's okay. I fixed my lineup. I'll make sure I always set my lineup in our league. Don't worry about that, Spock and Caitlin. I'll always make sure I have my lineup set. I'm playing Dobbins. Sue me. I am playing J.K. Dobbins. Nick, you only had one good game. I get it. Sue me, but I'm playing J.K. Dobbins. The matchup is too good. Kamara's matchup is way tougher. I am playing J.K. Dobbins. Burn me at the stake if you must. I'm playing J.K. Dobbins 100% over Kamara. Playing Dobbins. Smokehat says Reed or Brian Thomas Jr. I would play Brian Thomas Jr. just because I think he is way safer. I would play Brian Thomas Jr. because it's just way safer. Reed, you're really hoping that one of those funky end arounds that is given the ball, he runs that in, or he gets like some dump off and he takes it 80 yards to the crib, which is possible. Very possible, I might add. It's not the most possible scenario, but it is very possible. But Brian Thomas Jr. without Evan Ingram should be more involved. He looked good in his first game. I'm going Brian Thomas Jr. Tampa Dak. Should I drop Deontay Johnson for Sutton? No, because they're both on bad offenses. And if everything goes right for Deontay Johnson, it could go extremely right to where Deontay Johnson's a guy you want to start every single week, even on a shitty team, because Bryce Young and him have this elite connection. Whereas Sutton, bad team, and Sutton relies heavily on the touchdowns, even though the targets were heavy for him last week. I'd probably just hold Deontay Johnson, frankly. But that's a good question. Roderick Cooper or Brian Robinson? I'm assuming that is Amari Cooper, not Cooper Kupp, because the answer would obviously be Cooper Kupp. Amari Cooper versus Brian Robinson. I am going with Brian Robinson, personally. I think Brian Robinson is the way safer bet. Way safer bet. So I'm going Brian Robinson. 100 P. I'm trying to make a DFS lineup real quick for my friends and family league. Let's go Ford, Robinson. Fuck, I don't have enough time. Whatever. I'll just make one next week. Yeah, Brian Robinson over Cooper. Love you. Love you too. Gus or Zeke? I'd play Zeke. Full PPR, Bowers, likely. I would play Bowers. No, I'd play likely. Ingram out. Akins, Ertz, or Henry. I'd play Ertz. Thielen or Singletary, or Hopkins or Dortch. I would play Singletary. McConkey or BTJ. BTJ. Good luck, guys. Good luck, Gib. Good luck. I would play Brian Thomas Jr. Good luck, everybody, in your leagues. Sorry that today's stream was a little bit out of the ordinary. There were so many injuries that happened at the beginning of the stream. I was trying to mess with every single ranking that I have on Patreon. So I was adjusting all the player rankings. That's why it might have seemed a little bit different than normal. So I do apologize for that. But that's not my fault, really. I guess it is my fault because I could have woken up a little bit earlier. But I was down bad after Sugar Sean lost last night. I cried myself to sleep. So what you get, I didn't actually, but you guys get what I mean. So thank you guys for watching the stream. We got to lock in. Good luck to everyone. Thank you, Spock, for answering the questions in the chat. I appreciate you a ton. Thank you, Caitlin, for being here. Hola, what's going on, Michael? We're getting out of here, though. It is time to get out of here. Rating my team, 10-team PPR. And I don't know why my nose is so itchy, guys. And I hate itching my nose on camera because I think it looks like I'm like some crack addict or something. Kyler, Terry, Collins, Gibbs, Achane, Pitts, Connor. Your team's looking mighty fine. Give that a nice 9 out of 10. Good luck to everybody. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck to everybody. Smash that like button. Facts. Smack that like button like it owes you money. This is the most amount of super chats I think we've ever gotten. We got 48 super chats, which is absolutely fucking insane. Thank all of you guys. Genuinely, it means the world to me. I appreciate that people even care what I say. I hope I got all your guys' questions right. If I didn't, I apologize. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching the stream. I really do appreciate it. Good luck to everyone. Good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Yes, sir. Hope you guys have a good one. See you guys soon. I'm going to just play some music and get out of here because I want to go turn the games on and setting up. I'm like 25 years old. Bye, Nick. CO7. Bye, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this acoustic cinematic music. Get out of here. Actually, we'll play Night Driving. See you guys soon. Patriots 2-0. Wouldn't surprise me. See you guys. Peace out.